you said it, and we'll get to the attacks that the mainstream's having on you and what Gladys even tweeted about you, which I thought was childish as shit. But so you said earlier that 9/11 was when you sort of first started looking at everything. Was that the point where you were like, this whole thing's fucked? When was it like a Tower 7 thing? Was it a angles of the airplane or angles of explosion or just unexplainable like so much heat that the building blows up? There's so many things of 9/11 that I've tried to look up myself as well to try and make sense of it, because it's hard to make sense of that. And then the wars following it, we understand that now it like the wars don't make sense, and we should have never went into those wars.
Still there.
So there is a hard amount of people that correlate wanting to go into the war to the attack on essentially its own people, which is what it's called. What in that era? At what point? Because that seems am I right to say that was the triggering point that in your mind that switched everything and got you onto this path of the Save the World Army?
Definitely, because as a child and growing up as a teenager, I felt that there was something wrong with the world, with the financial system, people having to work and people being exploited, and the military killing people indiscriminately, for time eternal. But it was, so many inconsistencies with the 9/11 story, and straight away the attack on Afghanistan, and still there killing the people in Afghanistan 20 years later. It didn't add up. And as I researched more and more, in fact, I was looking at Alex Jones back in the day, and he woke me up to a lot of stuff. Yeah. We won't go too much into him. I don't follow him at all anymore.
Really?
No, he's a big fat shill, man. He's sold out completely. I think he did a huge bait and switch on his people, because for so many years people would tune into his show he was talking about vaccines, chemtrails, fluoride in the water. And then
he doesn't talk about that anymore.
Well, in around 2015, he flipped the switch and totally threw his support behind Trump, and would profess that Trump was a good guy. The whole QAnon movement, where Trump was secretly playing 7D chess.
You don't agree with that? You don't think that
exists?
That's
absolute garbage. Going back to my point that I made before, all politicians are the same. They're all playing a role. And for people to think that Trump, this dude, is any different, it's sad. But Alex Jones was a big part of fooling a lot of people who he had built up a rapport with over the years by speaking truth and getting them to jump on board the Trump wagon. And, it's sad, but like, people are all on their own journey, you know what I mean? And I could be wrong about that. I could be wrong about everything.
So what was specific about the 9/11 thing that you just went, this isn't it?
The building's collapsing so quickly. It would just look like a controlled demolition. It looked like a controlled demolition straight away. And that got me to research all the other aspects.
Other aspects?
The thermite found the inconsistencies with the 19 hijackers, the finding of a passport, etc. So many different angles of it. Some, even that the planes weren't really there. It was a holographic attack, and it was just a demolition. But I think that was definitely the entry point for me to discovering that the whole world was false, or at least it got me to admit that to myself. And instead of, just been a carefree teenager having fun, I made a point to go down this path and fight against the system that was doing this.
Yeah. It's hard at the minute because there's so much out there, and it's like everything is sort of flipped on its head to a certain degree. Like
that's when you got to worry.
Yeah.
If someone's being polite to you, if an Australian man is being polite, ooh, that's bad.
That's bad.
That's bad.
That's bad.